Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Well, we're 10 seconds into the show, and it's already taking a little bit of a detour. I'm being told we have a caller on the Riverwind Casino jackpot line that we absolutely must get to. So whose call do we need to take here, Grayson?
So on the phone, surprisingly, is a corner target for Oklahoma in the 2026 class. He's out of the state of California. Derek Johnson II is on the line right now with us.
Fantastic. Well, Derek, welcome to the show, sir. Glad to have you. Is there anything we need to know here off the bat?
Yes, sir. So right off the bat, I had my official visit with University of Oklahoma, and I am proud to announce that I am committing to the University of Oklahoma.
Boom! There it is. 10th commit of the 2026 cycle.
Let's go,
for
man.
the University of Oklahoma. Derek Johnson, cornerback out of Marietta Valley, California, is on board with the Sooners. And, man, okay, take us inside the experience over the weekend. This all obviously happened pretty fast. OV was Friday through Sunday. Here it is Tuesday. You're announcing your pledge to Oklahoma. What all went into the decision over the course of the weekend that led up to your pledge to Oklahoma?
So really it was just it really just started from the whole recruiting process. I mean, Coach Venables and Coach Valai and just even all the other coaches have just been showing an amazing amount of love throughout my whole entire recruiting process. And then I went up there for a junior day that went really good. So I already knew going into the OV weekend that there would be a good chance of me committing. Throughout the whole visit, just from the meetings in the beginning, I kind of just knew that it was home. And throughout the whole visit, I mean, there was extremely amount of love shown, and even just like the connections I had with everybody, even the players. When I got to talk to the players, it was great. So they just really made me feel at home and made me feel like I was a priority, and that was really just what made me make my decision.
Hey, Derek, you got a lot of people listening right now that are going to be cheering for you in the next couple of years here in Norman. What kind of players? Tell all the listeners out here, Sooner Nation and whatnot, tell them what kind of a player they are getting in Derek Johnson II.
Oh, yeah. So the kind of player you're going to get out of me is I'm going to come in, I'm going to work every day, I'm going to work my hardest. You're going to get someone that's going to make some plays, I'm gonna be making plays, just off the field, on the field. Like I'm gonna just be that type of person that's gonna come in and work every day. And when you see me on the field, I'm gonna bring energy. I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna be a team player. So that's the type of player you're gonna get out of me.
Now, Derek, if we rewind here all the way to the month of January when Oklahoma first extended the scholarship offer to you, can you just kind of describe the process of Oklahoma pursuing you as a recruit over the last 4 or 5 months here? The love you felt initially and the love that you continued to feel from the staff. How much of a priority did they make you feel, and how did they do that for you?
Yes, sir. So it started off with I got a text from Coach Valai. He said he was interested. We got on a couple calls. And that was like a month before he even offered me. And then so we went back and forth on a couple calls. And then he told me he was coming out to my school to see me. And then so I got excited about that. And then what he didn't tell me was he had a little surprise for me when he came to the school. It wasn't just him that showed up. There was 4 coaches. And it was crazy because I've never seen that. I've never heard of that. And Coach Venables is there, so the head coach is there. It was Coach Valai, Coach Todd Bates, and then Coach J.P. Lozman. But so at the time, they all came and they showed me a huge amount of love, and I've never seen anything like that or heard anything like that. And it was just great. Like, so right off the bat, I just felt the love, and I could just tell that with all 4 of them flying out to come see me, and they only came out to see a couple others. So it just really showed that I was really a priority, and they wanted to make sure that I knew how much of a priority I was and how much they really wanted me there. And just even after that, it wasn't like one of those like stops where they just offer and then just like don't really talk to you after. They've talked to me almost every day, going through leading up all the way to the visit. Almost every day. I mean, I get phone calls, text messages. I'm in a group chat. So like it was really crazy. Like you could really just feel the love, and it's just been great.
You mentioned Jay Valai, and your new cornerbacks coach the last couple of recruiting cycles has been on a heater, bringing in prospects in the 2024 and 2025 classes, and now you here in 2026. What are your thoughts on just joining such a young cornerback room and these guys that you're going to build relationships with and go compete with on the practice field?
I think it's going to be great. I mean, there's a lot of good guys in the room, and I think that's going to really bring like some competitive like nature to the whole DB room, and especially with Coach Valai. He's a great coach, and he has a lot of knowledge, and he really knows what he's talking about, and you can really hear it in his voice, and he's really passionate about what he does and what he talks about, and you can tell he puts a lot of time into it. So I know what I'm going to get out of my coach, and I know if he chose those other, DBs to go play there, then I know that they are up to that standard too, and that's where I want to be. So I think it's just going to be really good to be in a room full of, like, really good athletes like that are going to compete for a spot, and we're all going to make each other better throughout the whole, season and upcoming seasons.
I want to talk about Brent Venables here with you for a second, Derek. And if you're just joining us, this is Murrieta Valley, California cornerback Derek Johnson II, who just moments ago announced that he was becoming the 10th verbal commit of the 2026 cycle for the Sooners. Now, Coach Venables, who he is as a person, as a leader, as a football mind, especially getting to spend some intentional one-on-one time with him over the course of your OV, how confident are you that this program's headed in the right direction under his leadership, and he and his assistants are going to be able to get the most out of you as a football player?
So you could really just tell, like, from talking to him, like my first ever conversation with him, he's such a passionate person, and you could tell, like, he loves what he does, and he's really for, and he's also not just for, like, the way he talks and the way I've seen him interact with the other recruits, the other players, families, coaches, like, it's all the same. Like, he doesn't switch up, and you could tell, like, he's just really, like, a genuine person. Like, he doesn't talk in any way that, like, seems kind of fake or like he's not telling the truth. So he's really passionate about what he does, and you could just hear it in his voice, and the energy he brings is, like, just something, like, really great. And, like, the energy, it feeds off to other people. The love he gives, it feeds off to other people in the room, and it just brings about, like, this whole cycle of love that just and energy that goes throughout everyone in the building. And so you could really tell, like that being, like, the leader and leading the team and being the head coach, that's something you want in your head coach. And that's something that's going to for sure carry on in my development, everyone's development, the whole team, including coaches, players. And then me too, just is going to help develop everything and just going to really make the team great.
Now, before you get to Norman in 2026, you've got a senior season at Murrieta Valley High School in California. What is the last couple of things in your senior year that you want to improve on in your game in high school before your high school coaches turn you over to BV and his staff?
Yes, sir. So some things, just going into the season, and then before I go up in Norman, I'm really just going to work on, just building off of everything that I have. I'm going to work on, gaining more speed. I'm going to work on more man tech, more work on my attention to detail, watching film. I'm going to put some weight on. I'm going to really emphasize that. So those are just, like, a couple of things, going into the season. I'm going to take some advice from the coaches and just really work on those things before I get up there. And my coaches pass the baton to Coach Valai and Coach Venables and the rest of the staff.
Some quick reaction here from the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Gunny of Stutzman Army says, Jay Valai, Recruiter of the Month. Recruiting Boomer adds, you can feel the excitement in Derek's voice. I absolutely love this kid. And Kevin in Kansas says, this is an awesome way to announce your commitment. Welcome aboard, Derek and Boomer Sooner. Now, Derek, for those who aren't familiar, we should probably bring them up to speed. You've got NFL in the bloodline. Dad played at the University of Washington and in the NFL for several years at the cornerback position. So you're born and bred to play corner, man. But you had the opportunity to follow in your dad's footsteps and go play at the University of Washington. Did you ever feel that there was any pressure there for you to go and do that, or were you kind of confident all the way through that you could kind of blaze your own trail?
I mean, I feel like when I was younger, there's definitely not really pressure, but just like that family, wanting me to follow in my dad's footsteps and go up to Washington. And I did take a visit there. I mean, they're a great program. They're doing some really great things up there. The coaches are great. I just feel like for me, I feel like the best thing for me is to, go to my own place, make my own name for myself. And the way like these coaches have just really like shown me and set a path for me at the University of Oklahoma, I just felt it was the best decision for me. And after having conversations with my dad, with my family, they feel the exact same way. So, yeah.
This is a special thing that you have with your pops, that not everybody is playing the same position at such a high level that their pops did. Just take us through the relationship with you and your father and how you guys have grown together and just gone through this whole process together as he did it before you did, and now him seeing you do the exact same thing and following that same path now in 2025.
Yes, sir. So it's definitely been a blessing. I mean, not everyone has it, so I'm like forever grateful. And he's really, he's been through the process. He's done it all before I have, so he could really he's really been able to guide me through it and just show me what I need to do. It's just been up to me to put in the work. So, which I've been doing, and which is why I'm here, and I'm just very grateful for it. And the relationship has just been, it's been good. There's always times where he's going to be hard on me, but I know it's all out of love and to make me better. And as we can see, it's all worth it. It's all going, according to plan. So the relationship has been good. I mean, he pushes me every day. He's taught me a lot, which I'm really grateful for, which has gotten me here. So, yes, sir.
Derek Johnson, cornerback out of Murrieta Valley, California. As of just a few moments ago, the 10th verbal commit in the 2026 class for Oklahoma. And, Derek, I want to rewind just a few days to the official visit experience, because there must have been some energy. There must have been quite the vibe in that building, because Oklahoma had 16 official visitors over the weekend. One of them was already committed in linebacker Ja'Cory Smith. 3 of y'all that went in uncommitted have since publicly committed to Oklahoma, and it's only been about 48 hours since it all wrapped up. So what can you say about the energy and the camaraderie that existed between you guys that were on the visit amongst each other and with the players and coaches at Oklahoma throughout the course of the OV experience?
Yeah, I mean, the energy was just it was really good. And it wasn't just I was just talking to, the DB coach or the head coach. I was talking to everybody, all positions. I was talking to the other recruits. It was really, you could really tell it's all a family there and everyone's one. And you could tell it's all natural too. There's nothing being forced. Everything's just all natural. You see smiles everywhere, everybody laughing, everybody just having a good time. And it was just also natural, and the energy was so good. And it really started with Coach Venables. You could just tell his energy and his passion. It was just really a great time for everybody. You could tell everyone is having a great time and having a great visit. And I feel like they really just made it a great experience for everybody.
By the way, Derek, one of your counterparts in the 2026 recruiting class, Brian Harris from Florida, he is in our YouTube chat right now congratulating you on your commitment to Oklahoma. I want to ask you about playing corner and your position. You also play wide receiver and do it very, very well at Murrieta Valley High. How has being a wide receiver translated and helped you as a corner, as that's the position you're going to play in at the next level?
It's definitely helped me a lot because playing both sides of the ball, you can really understand both sides. So as a DB, I feel like it is really important to understand the objective of a receiver and playing receiver. I kind of know what I want, what to do. So playing DB, when I line up against a receiver, I know what he wants to do, how he's going to set me up, how he has to run his route because I play receiver, so I know I got to do the same thing when I'm on offense. So I think it's really important, and it really just helps me to understand what the receiver wants to do and what they're trained to do, all the training they do. So it really just helps in how to counter it and ways to beat it. So I think that is a really and then also with the ball skills too, going up to get the ball, tracking the ball, that helps with when I'm at DB and I need to, make some plays on the ball and make some interceptions. So
a 580 listener on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line asks, who was his host on the visit? I can answer that. That would have been Oklahoma sophomore cornerback Davon Jordan. Glenn from Nashville says, assuming Rivals has his information correct, Derek is the perfect size to play corner in the vaunted SEC. Welcome aboard. And Derek, we'll let you go and enjoy the love from the OU fans, but before we do, one final question to toss your way, and I'll give you the floor to answer it however you would like, but what's got you most excited about being a Sooner?
What's got me most excited is just, playing for a great head coach that's won so many championships and a team that's a family. And I'm just excited to get into a team that I know is going to be in the run for a national championship, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So
there you go, folks. Derek Johnson, cornerback out of Murrieta, California. As of this afternoon, the 10th commit in the 2026 cycle for Oklahoma. As the heater continues, it's now 3 consecutive days with a verbal pledge for OU in the 26 class. Derek, man, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on your commitment.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That is Derek Johnson joining us live via the Riverwind Casino jackpot line. I think that may have been a first.
I was gonna ask you, is this the first time you guys have done this?
I don't know whether we've ever done a live commitment on the air before. We've done immediate interviews with guys that had committed earlier in the day or earlier in the week. I think this is the first time a guy has announced his commitment live on the show. So that was a ton of fun. Thanks to Derek Johnson for being willing to do that with us. And there you go, man. Oklahoma keeps it rolling coming out of the first OV weekend of the year. There's some juice right now in Norman.
Yeah. By the way, salute to you for setting that up.
Thank you.
I know you texted me about this at 11:30 while I was throwing my PlayStation controller because I was losing in Diamond Dynasty, but salute to you for setting this up.
Yeah, we were working this out in the late hours of the evening.
I didn't think you stayed up that late.
Yeah, he lives in Cali, so he's 2 hours behind.
Right.
It wasn't all that late for him, but it was definitely late here in Oklahoma. But we worked it out. Derek Johnson on board with Oklahoma, first cornerback commit of the 2026 cycle for Jay Valai. And one thing we can say with some degree of certainty, Grayson, is that he will be a 4-star by the end of the cycle because Jay Valai doesn't sign guys that aren't 4-stars.
If anybody noticed our YouTube thumbnail, they are on the thumbnail are the 3 4-star corners that Jay Valai signed last year.
Really?
And I believe he signed 3 4-star corners the year before.
And 3 4-star corners the year before that as well.
I'm telling you, Jay Valai's on a heater right now.
Listen. Derek Johnson may be a 3-star right now, but if Jay Valai is to be trusted with his evaluations and his takes, Derek Johnson is not done rising up the rankings, not by a long shot. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. More OU recruiting talk ahead as we kick off the typical subject matter of our show. That was a fun little detour to get us started here on a Tuesday. You're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Stay right here. We'll be back.
Feeling stuck in your current home? Now is the best time to make a move. Home Creations is making home ownership more affordable with low interest rate opportunities and special financing. Don't wait. Live like a champion today. Call Holly at 405-364-9999. 888-364-9999 to find your dream home.
364-9999, it's Home Creations.
Considering refinancing your mortgage? Now might be the perfect time to start planning. With rates on the move, Stride Bank can help you determine if you may be able to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or tap into your home's equity. Stride's expert mortgage advisors will work with you to tailor a solution that fits your needs. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What are you waiting for? If you're anything like me, that question keeps you up at night. So don't wait for someone else's green light. Do the things you love right now at Moore Norman Tech. We'll get you out of the classroom and into the real world with hands-on experience in whatever feeds your fire. So get after it. Oklahoma needs more doers, and doers don't wait. Moore Norman Tech, powered by Oklahoma Career Tech.
What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. I'm State Farm Agent Julia Chu, and my team and I take time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for retirement or in need of auto, home, life, or business insurance, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit the Julia Chu Agency or call 329-3311. Come visit at our new location, 701 Wall Street, Norman.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Knippelmeyer here at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, USA. Conveniently located just 15 minutes south of Oklahoma City and 10 minutes west of Norman. With all the talk of inflation, market crashes, and tariffs, it's no wonder we're all afraid to make that new vehicle purchase. Now, with that being said, there will probably never be a better time to purchase your new Chevrolet at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet. No price increase or tariffs on our huge selection of in-stock vehicles. Pickups, SUVs, cars, and even Corvettes, all marked down and ready to sell. Interest rates are good, used vehicle trade-ins are high, and rebates and incentives are back on most new Chevrolets. So hop in that old vehicle and come see us at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, where nobody beats our deal. Or give us a call at 405-485-3333 or catch us on the web at knippelmeyer.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
What's up, Ref Army? Dari Noka here, the SEC Network, and your newest host here at the Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Starting June 30th, spend your late mornings with me and Josh Helmer every weekday from 9 to noon as we talk everything Sooners, and I'll help you all keep tabs on what's happening in the rest of the SEC. Whether it's on the plains of Auburn, the Swamp in Gainesville, or right here in Norman, we've got you covered every weekday from 9 to noon on the Ref and worldwide on the KREF app. That's every weekday for the Dari Noka Show from 9 to noon on the Ref and worldwide on the KREF app.
Hey, Mike Steely here for my good friends at Cavens Group. Spring temperatures are here, and the threat of severe storms loom. Are you ready? Cavens can help you with water intrusion and inspections for mold. Also spring cleanup and yard cleanup with their 12-foot dumpsters. Don't wait for the water to expose your problems. Get ahead of it today with Cavens Group Spring Checkup. Call them today at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com.
It is locked in here on the Ref. The home of Sooner fans. Parker Thune alongside Grayson Singleton. In case you missed it, and I hope you didn't. Right at the top of the hour, 3-star cornerback Derek Johnson II out of Murrieta Valley, California, announced his commitment to Oklahoma, becoming the 10th pledge of the 2026 cycle for the Sooners. And okay, Grayson, I know where you're going. I need to say this. Some of y'all are miserable humans. Not all of you. Look, it was great browsing through the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line last segment and seeing some of your comments on Johnson. The excitement that there is amongst so many of you to welcome him to the Oklahoma football family. I overall love the dynamic, love the vibe on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Most days, it's pretty great. Then you go to Twitter.
Oh, no.
Then you go to Twitter, and it's huge get for a highly coveted 3-star with an eye roll emoji. Top 35 class incoming. What is preventing some of you from just being happy about a talented football player that is coming to the University of Oklahoma over numerous other Power 4 offers from across the country? I do not understand. And I also don't understand the perception that you have the 5 stars. And here we go. I'm referencing Moneyball again. It feels like some of you think that in the words of Brad Pitt from Moneyball, the slightly modified words, I should say, there are 5 stars and there are 4 stars. Then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's 3 stars. This is the way some of you act, and I don't understand it. 3 stars are really good football players too. Not all of them. Like the range of 3 stardom is very wide. Because the way it works is you have 32 5 stars every cycle. You have probably 300 to 350, maybe 400 additional 4 stars. And then there's like 1,000 to 1,200 3 stars. And so there's just an astronomical number of 3 stars. And there may be a guy that is in the upper echelon of 3-star territory that has 30, 40 scholarship offers, the vast majority of them from P4s. And then there may be a 3-star that's on the lower end of that range, and his offers are like Wyoming, Utah State, Missouri State. And that's it. And he's going to play G5 football. But I cannot understand for the life of me why some folks insist on painting with so broad a brush that they are completely unwilling to acknowledge the reality that a 3-star pickup, in some cases, I would say in most cases, in almost every case, at least pertaining to the University of Oklahoma, landing a 3-star is a big deal. And generally, you're landing said 3-star over a myriad of other Power 4 programs that would absolutely love to have that dude on board. And with Derek Johnson in particular, NFL legacy, 2-way star at the high school level, plays wide receiver and cornerback.
And is very damn good at wide receiver, too.
Had offers from, I won't belabor the point and roll through his entire offer sheet, but he had OVs booked to Utah, UCLA, Washington, and Kansas. Those were kind of his finalists. And anytime you see Utah in the mix for a defensive back, that's typically a pretty reliable indicator that said defensive back can play football. If you're not already under the impression that Jay Valai can evaluate talent. Right? If you need validation from another school, Utah is one of those schools from which you're going to seek that validation, at least when you're talking about cornerback. So I'm sorry for the diatribe. I had to get that off my chest. Fortunately, it sparked some good conversation on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Big Chris says, I have seen 3 stars excel, and I have seen a bunch of 5 stars fail. Ain't that the truth? Need I walk you through the 5 stars that Oklahoma has signed in recent memory?
Oh, my goodness. We can do this exercise again?
No, and we won't. But, like, Bray Walker, remember him? That guy was a 5-star. You ask any Sooner fan who they'd rather have between Bray Walker and a 2-star JUCO signee by the name of Ben Powers around that same timetable?
You'd probably take Ben Powers.
One of them turned out all right. One of them didn't. A 405 listener says, I would rather have a Venables 3-star than some of the weak 5 stars that Lincoln's group brought in. Michael in Marlowe says, these people have a minimal amount of brain capacity. LOL. A 918 listener simply says, Buki. Great text. Great text. A 580 listener says, hey, morons, Jackson Arnold was a 5-star and we were ready to run him out of town after 4 games. Mike S. adds, OU has had way more success with 3- and 4-star guys over 5-star guys. Luke says, they calling us 3-star U, SMH. Okay, whatever.
That's who the diatribe was for.
Pretty much. Glenn from Nashville adds, Parker, let me borrow the shtick from the bleeper texter. Quit reading their bleeping tweets and giving them attention, and they might stop being such miserable humans. I actually don't think so, because I'd never engage or interact with any of these people on Twitter, nor does any member of the sensible contingent of humanity. And yet they keep doom tweeting. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. A verified source says Sauce Gardner was a 3-star. Brad from Shawnee says this kid will end up being a 4-star. I believe that as well. CJ Sooner in Florida says, why do you choose to focus on the negative, Parker? If there's positive on the text line, why not read those? We did. Read a lot of positive text last segment. Also because I didn't want Derek Johnson hearing 3-star U texts. Like, imagine you're a student athlete, and fortunately, I know Derek Johnson is not going to go scrolling through all of the random Twitter comments. But how do you think he's going to feel if he's scrolling through the comment section of his commitment post and he sees OU fans by the truckload tweeting stuff like, oh, great, another 3-star? It's not a good look.
It's really not.
And it matters.
Maybe
it doesn't matter a ton in most cases, but it matters. Guys take note of that stuff. Powder Puff says, give it up, Parker. There are some idiot Oklahoma fans who don't deserve to be Oklahoma fans and should go pound sand. It's 16-0 national champs every year, and recruit 5-stars are nothing in their mind. They are a bunch of absolute idiots who have no idea what they're talking about or anything about recruiting in football. They are fair weather fans. Frisco Sooners says, no offense, Parker, but I would trust Jim Nagy and the rest of the coaches at OU and their ability to evaluate talent over the evaluation abilities of the star industry. Amen to that. Amen to that. If you trust Jim Nagy, you trust the evals and you trust the takes. And maybe you don't trust Jim Nagy, and that's fine. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. You're entitled to your opinion. But there's a reason Oklahoma not only brought Jim Nagy to town, but allowed him to build out a quite robust front office staff that now appears to be, and I don't have the pulse on what every single Power 4 program is doing in that regard, Grayson, but it would seem, to my somewhat educated eye, as though Oklahoma now has not only one of the largest front offices in the nation, but also one of the most qualified.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, size is great, but obviously you want, what do we always say? Quality over quantity, right? And it seems like Oklahoma's checking both of those boxes when it comes to a front office. I mean, if you have to go back to, if any fans out there want to say, I don't know about this whole Jim Nagy and all of his staff that's there, I encourage you, go to OU football's Twitter, go look at the headshots of all those people, and Google up the resumes of every single one of them. You will be probably impressed.
This is a very interesting text from David in Norman. Parker, with the severe weather that was going through Norman during much of the OV weekend, I got to wondering, have you ever talked to a recruit who told you that they could not come to OU because of all of the tornadoes? Nope, that would be a first, David. Never had a conversation like that. We do have tornado shelters for those types of things. I don't know what the tornado emergency strategy looks like at Headington Hall, where all the young student athletes live, but I would imagine it's a pretty foolproof one. They're taking care of those guys.
I would imagine.
Recruiting Boomer says, take it from a former doomer. It takes a lot of work and heartache to change your mindset. Some can't do it. A listener in Arkansas says, Parker, I think it's the fact that last season was a negative season, so I think most equate that as the reason we had such a bad season. I know it has nothing to do with 3, 4, and 5 stars. It's the player working on their craft, regardless of star power. More to the problem was injuries, and not great QB play. I think it's, and I've said this before, I think it's fair to say we have absolutely no idea how talented Oklahoma's roster actually was in 2024. Because it was never functioning at greater than, I don't know, 65 to 70% of maximum capacity.
Mm-hmm.
We have no idea how talented Oklahoma's roster actually was in 2024. We have a good idea how talented the defense was. And I think if you're confident about where Oklahoma's headed in 2025, that is the root of the reason for the most part, is how good that defense was and how many pieces you bring back. But we have no idea, really, how talented that OU offense was in particular in 2024. So that's why, to me, in my mind, the jury's out to a certain extent. Not going to sit here and say Oklahoma goes undefeated. I'm not going to sit here and say John Mateer has a renaissance year where he leads the FBS in total touchdowns again. But it's hard to imagine things being as bad offensively this year as they were last year. I don't think it is a hot take in the slightest, Grayson, to say that Oklahoma is going to be much better on the offensive side of the ball than they were last year. And does that have to do with the acquisitions that they made? Sure. But it also just has to do with the fact that they're going to be healthy.
Presumably.
Knock on wood. Knock on Formica, whatever this is. Okay, we should hit a break. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. You guys have been awesome so far throughout the show. Keep filling it up, and we will wrap up Locked In. I almost said wrap in Locked Up.
Huh?
We are going to wrap up Locked In. Coming up next here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, this is Michael Vasucci. You listen to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Riverwind is bringing the heat this June at OKC's favorite casino.
So get the party started with the hottest jackpots in town.
Book a stay at our hotel for a weekend of fun with friends.
Win like an all-star on your go-to games.
Grab a bite and a bev at one of our fabulous eateries.
Go for gold with your wild card and play for your chance at $80,000 in our Sunshine Riches giveaway.
For the best summer yet and unforgettable good times, make it Riverwind.
That twinge in your knee isn't going to wait until Monday, and neither do we. At Orthostat, we've expanded, so you get better hours, better facilities, and the same great care. Open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Whether it's sprains, strains, fractures, or joint pain, from knuckles to knees and every joint in between, our same-day, affordable care gets you back to life faster. Visit OuchOrthostat.com to learn more.
Life is yours to spend. Spend it making more money. Spend it making more memories. Spend it learning a new skill. Spend it teaching an old trick. Spend it career climbing. Spend it mountain climbing. First United Bank. Spend life wisely.
Hey, Mike Steely here for my good friends at Cavens Group. Spring temperatures are here and the threat of severe storms loom. Are you ready? Cavens can help you with water intrusion and inspections for mold. Also spring cleanup and yard cleanup with their 12-foot dumpsters. Don't wait for the water to expose your problems. Get ahead of it today with Cavens Group Spring Checkup. Call them today at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com.
Purple Wave Auction remains the trusted leader in online equipment auctions. What makes the difference is you. You are part of our growing global community that continues to trust Purple Wave with the equipment that builds and feeds America. This trust placed in us by our community, from construction to ag producers and fleet drivers, brings great equipment opportunities to their next owners. Join the Purple Wave community today. purplewave.com.
Dear hero, whoever you are, you save lives. I live with sickle cell and the pain and the issues that come along with sickle cell every day. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life. Because of you, I'm allowed to see my son grow up.
Giving equals living.
Give blood. Replenish the supply. Learn more at hhs.gov/giveblood. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. Because we've got you. With local vaccine events and access to transportation, protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore.
You've got this.
A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by U.S. Aging. Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. Learn more at yougotthis.usaging.org.
KREF Army, I'm back. Randy Gardner here with Rose Rock Habitat for Humanity and Habitat Restore. We did it! Thanks to our volunteers and dedicated staff, the Rose Rock Habitat Restore has officially relocated to our new building. Our new location is 831 Sonoma Park Drive in East Norman. We are just off Northeast 12th Avenue between Robinson and Main. Shop for furniture, housewares, home decor, building materials, and much more. Come see what we have in restore for you. Call 405-360-7868 or visit roserockhabitat.org to learn more.
Final segment of Locked In here on a Tuesday. Parker Thune alongside Grayson Singleton here in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios. We're live on YouTube. In case you don't know, now you know. I know that many of you tune in via the traditional radio dial or via the KREF app, but if you're inclined to tune in via YouTube, just go to YouTube and type in KREF Sports. You will find us. You will probably find this very show. Is there any YouTube content that we produce regularly on KREF Sports besides this show?
I think we've got shorts that we do.
Okay. But for the most part, it's just us?
Pretty much.
Streaming every day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, hey, KREF Sports. Type it into your YouTube search engine. You're going to find us. Great interview to kick off the show with three-star cornerback and brand-new Oklahoma commit, Derek Johnson, followed by my diatribe about some of you miserable Sooner fans out there. To that point, Grayson texted me this during the break. Apparently, Front Porch Sports, I have no idea what Front Porch Sports is.
Probably some people that just like to put together graphs.
Probably a barstool facsimile, because Lord knows we need another one of those in society. Front Porch Sports put out a graphic, and this graphic is comprised of the top 50 most miserable fan bases in sports. And folks, we're talking sports here, not college football, all of American sports. At least in the minds of the people at Front Porch Sports, the University of Oklahoma has the 7th most miserable fan base in all of sports. Well, technically 8th, because I'll run you through the list. It's the Dallas Mavericks at number 1, understandable. Mm-hmm. Dallas Cowboys at number 2, of course. The A's, just the A's at number 3.
I'd be miserable, too, if I had to listen to whoever that girl is that calls the games.
Oh, my goodness. Texas A&M at number 4. The New York Jets at number 5. And then at number 6, it's Oregon State and Washington State, which makes sense because they are they are the children left behind by all of the Pac-12 expatriates. So you have both Oregon State and Washington State at number 6. So Oklahoma's at 7, but we're going to call them 8. You can't have Oregon State and Washington State both number 6. So according to Front Porch Sports, the University of Oklahoma has the 8th most miserable fan base in all of sports, and that just kind of underscores the reality, Grayson. This fan base needs some wins. This fan base needs a football team to get excited about. Luke says, Front Porch Sports is an Oklahoma State fan making troll graphics like Big Game Boomer used to do. I think I blocked Big Game Boomer.
Did you really?
I haven't seen Big Game Boomer content in so long. I had to have blocked him.
I don't remember
I
haven't seen much Big Game Boomer content either. I wonder if he's dialing back.
I had to have blocked him. Big Game Boomer has fallen off the map for me. It's either just because he's actually fallen off the map or because I blocked him. No idea which.
It's kind of funny that you don't remember whether you blocked him or not. How many people do you block?
I used to block nobody. For the longest time, I did not block anybody. What changed it for me was I had my first few encounters with Missouri fans on Twitter. Once I became exposed to the cesspool of toxicity that is Missouri Twitter, I began to use the block button a lot more liberally. And I have ever since. The way I see it, if you're just going to fill my mentions with detritus, why wouldn't I block you? Why would I allow you to stick around?
What is detritus?
Garbage.
There you go.
405-651-3439. 918 listener says, we can't even beat Texas A&M as fourth most miserable. Unacceptable, people. Unacceptable. Zach from Guthrie says, an Oklahoma State fan, no wonder Grayson saw that post and none of us have.
I'm not going to lie, I had no idea it was an Oklahoma State fan.
Glenn from Nashville says, as irritated as I get with some of the listeners and some of the things they text from time to time, ain't no way we're a top 10 most miserable fan base in the country. There are some miserable fan bases out there. No question about it.
But how do you define miserable, though?
Yeah, okay, because you definitely can interpret miserable two different ways. Miserable as in those people are just completely toxic on social media, which, again, if that's how you're defining it, there is no more miserable fan base than the Mizzou fan base. But miserable can also just mean, wow, life sucks, woe is us. And in that regard, it doesn't get much worse than being a Nebraska fan.
I think it's the latter, how that's supposed to be interpreted, given the fact that the top two are the Mavericks and the Cowboys.
That's probably what they were going for.
And two geographically isolated teams in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay, 3-star Yukon Bob on the text line says, stars, stars, stars. The infatuation with stars has overwhelmed some. They didn't get a star for turning in their homework in kindergarten. Yukon Bob is apparently blaming the miserableness of certain OU fans on their lack of approval as a child. Their lack of positive reinforcement. May there be some truth to that? There could be. Michael in Marlow says, Big Game Boomer had a tweet about Front Porch Sports not being him, and he's stepped away from Twitter. Okay, so maybe that's why I haven't seen Big Game Boomer content forever, is because he's just done tweeting. A 405 listener says, people who say, I'm not going to lie, typically lie a lot. What is that in reference to? I don't even know.
I think
Did I say that?
No, I think I said I'm not going to lie. I didn't know he was an OSU fan.
Oh, gotcha. A 405 listener says, Ohio State fans are the most miserable. Even after a championship, all they can do is whine about Michigan. Hey, Grayson, I heard from Bo Bentley this morning. Bo Bentley broke his silence. And evidently what happened was he just kind of sent the same canned message to a lot of us that are in the media industry. And so I'll read it to you. I don't mind doing so. Posted it for subscribers over at ouinsider.com earlier in the afternoon. But here's what Bo Bentley had to say in the immediate aftermath of his OU visit. And I'll just give you a spoiler here. He's not giving away a whole heck of a lot. All right. I quote, through this process, I tried my hardest to focus on what is right ahead of me. When I go on a visit, I focus on that school and the people as much as possible. I block out talking to the other school when I'm on a visit. Visits are a lot to take in, and you have to come off of the high when you come home to really think about everything that I learned on the visit. They both did a great job, referring to OU and LSU. There were some differences between the two, and I like thinking more about those after I get home for a couple of days. Both schools have laid out very clear plans for how I fit in the future. They are great staffs who have helped me and my family understand how I can win a championship and keep growing and developing. Really appreciate all the time the coaches and their teams and families put into getting to know me and my family. It's really cool. Right now, I'm letting it all sink in, and specifically this week, getting focused on going to do my best at Elite 11 next week. End quote. So what do you infer from that, Grayson? Because what I infer is that perhaps a decision isn't as close as we once imagined it was.
Yeah, that was going to be exactly what I said. It seems like he may take until after Elite 11 to decide this. But I think it is confirmation of my whole take on his recruitment up to this point, is that between Oklahoma and LSU, if you just isolated it to football, everything's pretty even. Offensive coaching staff's pretty even. Maybe you give the edge to LSU just because Joe Sloan has done it in the SEC. Both teams are going to have quality receivers. Both teams are going to have what seems to be, if you stay healthy, quality offensive line. Both teams have a history of developing quarterbacks. So everything football-wise pretty much levels out as it pertains to Oklahoma and LSU for Bo Bentley. I don't know. I think if he keeps waffling with it, here's my honest take. If he keeps waffling with it, it may seem like he's trying to put the emotional to the back burner and just trying to concentrate on football. I've thought that the emotional is going to be what wins out for Oklahoma. If he tries to suppress that, we'll see. By the way, we have a crazy super chat right now.
What is it?
Do you want me to disclose the amount? Well, I guess it's public.
Holy
in
smokes.
the YouTube chat. Yeah.
That is a $200 super chat.
What's up, Hubinator Boom?
Hubinator Boom says, Parker Thune is the best in the business. Very impressed with that young man. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you, Hubinator. Wow. He also said, loved your interview with Coop yesterday, Brian Harris. Congrats on your commitment. He and Brian Harris are having a little back and forth.
Yeah, they
in
are.
the YouTube chat.
This is hilarious, by the way.
And I'll say this regarding the whole Bo Bentley thing. I think we're all going to find out together.
I think so, too.
Because generally speaking, just because of the industry that I'm in and the relationships I cultivate, and it comes with the territory, you tend to know these things ahead of time. And sometimes I have the clearance to tip y'all off that something is coming. Sometimes I'll very intentionally hold stuff back, i.e. the news that Derek Johnson was committing, so that we can bring you something like we did at the beginning of the hour, which is a live announcement of a commitment and a subsequent interview. So I'm not convinced it's going to be anything of that ilk with Bo Bentley. Based on the way that he has conducted himself throughout this entire process and the way that he and his folks have operated, I think he's going to keep everybody in the dark. And by everybody, I mean even the two staffs at Oklahoma and LSU, until he is 1,000% ready to lock in his decision. And look, he may honestly announce a commitment before he calls both staffs, because that's kind of just a formality. You know, he doesn't have to call and confirm that he's a take at either of these schools. He knows he is. He knows they're both ready and willing for him to jump on board. So this is probably going to be the type of deal. If I had to guess, and I could be wrong, but if I had to guess, I think it's probably going to be abrupt. It's going to be out of nowhere. And at this point, I have absolutely no idea what the timeline could possibly be for Bentley. It could be this week. It could be next month. I don't think we're still sitting here and waiting by the time the football season rolls around, because the two schools are going to want an answer at a certain point, probably sometime reasonably soon. But the reason I think this is going to be kind of fun is it's in many ways it's just kind of a throwback process. You have two schools, and only two schools, in the running. And it feels like the kid holds all the cards, and he's going to let everybody know when he is ready to let everybody know. And until then, all we can do is prognosticate, speculate, editorialize about the Bentley recruitment. And that, folks, is going to bring us to the finish line on today's installment of Locked In. Phenomenal show. another huge thank you to Derek Johnson for jumping on with us and being willing to announce his commitment here on KREF, the home of Sooner fans. For all of you listening across the Sooner State, across the country, and across the globe. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. We will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, here on the home of Sooner fans. Do not go anywhere, because Tyler McComas and Teddy Lehman have 3 more hours of OU sports talk ahead on The Rush. Keep it here.